Hey guys, it's Reed here. And yes, I've been gone a little bit and stuff like that. It's been a little on the absolute crazy side with everything else going on and stuff. But finally catching up on that. And one of the things that's really neat, we went over 1,000 subs. Wow! Amazing and everything else you guys want to say. For everyone else that came by, joined up, and everything else, I appreciate it. Big help. And we'll do a big video on a whole bunch of stuff and do something or whatever. But for now, I'm just going to have to put up with a garden video, but I do appreciate it. So thank you very much. And I got a quick shout out here I want to mention is Tyler at Let's Talk About Prepping. Link up in the corner. I highly recommend you go check him out. He likes to talk about prepping and stuff. So good thing to check out. Okay, so let's focus here and get going on the video. You can ignore this pile of solar panels back here that I got to work on. But right here, these are Trifoliate Orange. All right, when I got these were itty bitty plants. I got them off an Etsy store, a little Etsy store that place had them because all sorts of other places were sold out and everything else like that. So I took a chance and they got it and it was the right thing and everything and matched up. And they actually have grown. You can see a lot of the new growth here and stuff. And they're greening up and things. I'm going to get these guys in the ground. But these are a hardy citrus. They're down to -degrees Fahrenheit and cold. Very, very hardy. Now, the only thing, though, is you see they make these really big thorns here. They're also a very good natural barrier and all that. Now, they are a sour orange, okay? So it's not going to be like, ooh, wonderful oranges like out of Florida. No, these are very sour, like lemon sour. But I'm okay with that. I like lemon flavor. I like lemon sour really well. I love tea and lemon. So I'm real curious to see how that kind of turns out. The other thing, though, is you can candy it up and make marmalades, jams, and everything else. So they're just like other oranges. They're just a lot more involved. They have a lot more seeds. They're smaller. But it's a citrus I can grow here, and it's not going to freeze to death. Big plus. Real happy on that. Let me show you some other stuff. Okay, here's my circle garden. It is overgrown. I am still got to mentally get this in gear of how much to plant in here because it always grows ridiculously well. This thing is just monumentally good. And you see back here, let me get closer. We can get closer to this so you can see some of it. I have tomatillos out the wazoo coming in. They're going to be everywhere. I got all sorts of stuff in here. It's just crazy. And I got to weed this back. And the teparies that I left here, I'll just leave 2 teparies. Teparies, when they have water, they go nuts. They make more beans than you can ever imagine. They are just wild, crazy plants. So I got to get them out and get them isolated, put them in their own little area and everything else. But I'm going to have tons of tomatillos. I got a gob of peppers coming in on these little plants. The plants usually don't get super big in the circle garden, but they make a bazillion peppers. I mean, it's wild how many peppers I get. It's just crazy how that works. But so this is the circle garden. And like I said, I wasn't too worried about beating the frost because stuff was going to come in. Yeah. And I need to remember myself, okay, I planted like half as much as I planted last year. Okay, I need to plant half as much as that next year so I can sort of manage this a little better. And I'm going to try to build 4 more of these things real quick over the winter and all that, so they'll be ready to get going next year. And I'm going to compost more kitchen scraps and other stuff. And I got some other crazy compost ideas. We'll see how they turn out. But this is the giant overgrown mess that my stuff turns into in these circle gardens. It's wild. And I keep making the soil better and they do even more better. It's just crazy. And I got green beans forming like nuts. I mean, yeah, it's an overgrown disaster zone. I got to work on it. And over here, you can see this mess. Yeah, that's what teparies do when they just get fed too much. They just go ape. And so they kind of overgrow everything. And as Lee says, sometimes we just have to give the teparies a big haircut because they are just crazy. And we're getting better at managing them, but it takes a lot of work. And so you really got to be careful how you plant them. And I should have just pulled the 2 that were in here. I really should have. I was like, 2 teparies ain't going to be a problem. Wrong. They just take over everything. But I'll have, thousands of bean pods. I'll just harvest up and put them in the other buckets of tepary beans, which are tasty. I need to get the other black and white tepary beans growing and started and get that figured out. But I'm going to put these up that way, up my hill that you guys have seen so many times in the videos. They're going to go up the hill a bit. I'm going to let them take over all the weeds. You know, these things will happily just outcompete the weeds. Give them some water and they'll just take over. So I'll have them do some other stuff and improve the soil before I go into it, and, you know, compost the dead plants into stuff and so on. But yeah, this is the overgrown forest, which it always turns into and such. And, you know, this year we did a lot of beans, root vegetables, and then a couple, you know, the tomatoes, tomatillos, and eggplants. They're a nightshade. So I'm not going to put potatoes in this next year. I'm going to do some more rotation. And so potatoes will come after a time with no nightshades at all and a good gap. So we'll start the crop rotations and get it going. So I'm going to have a whole map, and we'll go over that. Now let me show you some other stuff. All right, so here's the blue corn. We got to get a bunch more of the ears out that are right on the end. The plants are right here. You can see drying out real good. So, like, I don't even know. Yeah, there might be a little bit here. Sometimes this happens on the edge of cornfields. Like the wind, if it's mostly blowing, you know, out this direction, so it's going that way when it starts, the corn on the edge may get barely any fertilization. It happens sometimes. So if you don't get a bunch back and forth and all that, sometimes I should have come out here and shook the stalks to help propagate it this way. So let's get to it. But I got to finish getting all this pulled. Now I need to build a corn drying rack because I've got so many ears of corn this year. I'm out of space on what I usually dry them on. So I got to build a corn drying rack and stuff like that. And I've got a whole idea. I just got to get to it. Right now, things are kind of strung, like with string, across the dining room. So we're eating under corn, you know, ears of corn drying above us. I guess it's weirdly romantic. There's your comment for the day. But we're going to get the rest of this pulled out of here. All the beans you see, like we put with the trees and all that, we got lots of bean pods down here. Yeah, so we got good amounts of beans we can grab. We'll show you guys all these. And like I said before in one of my other videos, so see this nice color? Yeah, I mean, these are totally ready. And I got to be careful because they just want to break open. So I got to come out and get a bag and get all these pulled and such. But yeah, so you can see how that's going. Fair amount of corn this year. Fair amount. We'll just go over all of it. I'm going to weigh all of the blue corn. And you can see, we'll add up how many calories it is. And then we'll add up the soy. I still got to pull the soy plants. This is my first year growing the soy plants. They don't fit well with the corn. I've decided they're not a good companion with the corn. They just don't suit it well. And it's kind of hard to get in here and do stuff. And I got the wrong squash in here. So it kind of worked, kind of didn't. So got to revise stuff for next year, sort it out, deal with it, fix it, and so on and so forth. But you got to learn by doing. And it's very, very important. Because the first time you do stuff, you make mistakes. So if you're not growing stuff now, and you're waiting until the end of the world to start doing stuff, big mistake. You're going to have massive, unbelievable problems. So start doing it now, start figuring it out, start understanding this stuff, and you'll be much better off. Now let's go this way a bit. Whoops. All right, it's a quick, short journey over to this side. So this is the okra plants, and they actually got going. I got winning on a chunk of them with the chelation spray. Things got a lot better. Now, some did not. We have some failures out there. You can see some little tiny ones that just never made it. That happens, all right? But I'm getting some okra. I'm going to get a couple little bits to eat and such. And I got some big ones down here going. Let's see if we can see some of those way down there. I'm letting those go to seed. I want those to go to seed, so I have fresh seed and stuff. Because I found out okra seed doesn't keep as long as I wanted. And having more seed is very important. So we're going to let those go to seed, and we're going to get stuff off these and so on. Now I have a bunch of other seeds that I've saved this old from other okra that didn't grow very well. The germination rate was horrible. So we're going to make something special with it, but that'll be a surprise for another video. I'm going to show you what we're doing, okay? And, you know, we got our pepper plants and stuff. I got to pull a bunch of the peppers. They are really ready to come off and such, and do stuff with them, pickle them and all that. I got one plant that just did not do very well here. It's a learning experience. I am learning about raw soil in my area, and I'm going to start amending this and everything like that. Now over here, we have the popcorn. The popcorn got planted a lot later, so it is really, it's coming in, but it's going to beat the frost. We're going to beat it. So we're doing okay though. I got ears of popcorn coming in. We got stuff going on there. We'll weigh that out, get the calories on it, and we can add up the raw land yield. Then we're going to compare it to, after it's fertilized heavy duty with soil improvements for next year and go forward with that and add more land and so on and so forth. So we get an idea of how much land we need to feed ourselves with. Especially in the worst case scenario when I don't have a bazillion chemicals and everything else to use. Good thing to know. All right, let me show you something else. Okay, so here are sunflowers. We got a lot of them open. All right, and boy, are the bees happy. I have seen the bees all over these guys, which is really good. Really, really good to see all the bees in them doing stuff. Now, whoops, big old bumblebee came flying at me. Now, when they've got done, so I noticed they kind of do this, and then they start hanging down like that. I think they must be producing seeds, and that's why their heads are hanging down, because they want to drop it on the ground. I got to do a little reading about sunflowers. I'm not an expert on sunflowers. It's my first time growing sunflowers, so I am learning by doing. And I'm kind of convinced sunflowers are aliens from another world. There's the theory of the day. But I used to say corn is weird as heck. Well, sunflowers got them beat by a bit. They shouldn't have made a Children of the Corn scary movies. They should have made Children of the Sunflower scary movies. So there's my quick video for today. We'll get more stuff coming. I just haven't been busy, and we got a lot of other stuff to do, but I want to get something out real quick for you guys. Take care. Have a wonderful day, and get some stuff going if you haven't grown stuff before. Just do something so you get an idea of how to manage this stuff. There is so much to learn, and even I'm going, huh? See ya. Read out.